Hi, welcome back to my channel, Uniquely Rigged and Handcrafted Cards. Today I'm going to make my craft roulette submission for episode number 273. And the parameters for this week's episode were to make a project that's for a ladies card, use element of camp, camps, camping, colors of a candy wrapper, and random belt or belts. So for my card as a ladies project or card, I'm going to use a glitzy gatefold card die set from the Stamps of Life, and it's going to double as my belt random object because I am going to put a belly band around my gatefold card. So I have already cut out the biggest die in the set, which is the gatefold card, and I've cut it out of a blue color of cardstock, so that creates a little swish in the middle of the card for the gatefold. And I kind of did a shortcut using one of my patterns that I did last week with the ink smushing and the sky background to use as the element for camping or camps. And so I'm not quite ready to put away my June 2025 Stamps of Life card kit, and I want to use this background to simulate camping under the stars on the beach. So I thought this was still laying on my desk, and this was the card background that I had ink smushed the first time as a test layer. And so I thought, I still have this here. I might as well just put it to good use. And so I took the layering pieces from the die set and I cut out my card panel using those layering pieces. You can see those fit back in here. And so these layering panels are going to fit right onto the front of the gatefold and simulate the sky. And I do have a little bit of a swish from the middle of the panel left over. I'm going to trim this excess off and just toss that out. So I can use this as a banner or something on the inside of the card, or I can use it on another project. I'm not going to toss that away. That's a really good piece still. So I'm going to adhere these down. I really like how that looks against the blue background. I'm going to adhere this down. Let me get some glue on this. So I still had this sitting on my desk, and I figured, why toss it? It's really good paper, and if somebody wants to camp out on the beach under the sky, this is what the sky might look like, right? So we're going to get that adhered down right there. That looks really nice. Okay. So in the June 2025 card kit and the Stamp and Die Hard kit, we got the beach umbrella and the beach chair. I cut out the beach chair from a piece of craft cardstock, and I took my Distress walnut stain and just distressed it a little bit. And just to highlight some of those embossed pieces of the chair. And so it looks like a real Adirondack chair. Here we go. And so I also took the excess piece of the paper on the blue cardstock to make a belly band for my card. So this fits around here. And the easiest way to make a belly band truly is to take a piece of paper long enough to wrap around and just fit it to one side and crease it on one side. You can get your bone folder and crease it on one side, and you can just shift it over a little bit. You need some room to have it give some movement, and then you can crease it on this side. So I've got about an 1/8 of an inch between the card base and the fold before I creased, and it needs to be able to flow freely so that you can get it off the card once you've got all your layers on. That's the easiest way to do it. Now you could measure. Of course, the back of your panel is 4 1/4 here, and your card size is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So just measure the back side at 4 1/2, and then the front flaps. There's the rest. So you could trim these down. You don't need the front flaps as long as they are. It just needs to be long enough so that they touch and you can adhere them together at least a little bit of the way so that it creates that band. I took a couple of pieces of paper from the June 2025 Stamps of Life card kit collection, the paper pad that came with the collection kit, and cut a couple of pieces of paper I'm going to adhere to the belly band. And then I took the beach umbrella from the card kit and I cut it out of some scraps a couple of times. I am going to paper piece this together here. So let me take care of that and I'll get right back with you. Side for now. I'm going to take my distress and just go across the edges of this here. Make sure that none of that white is showing. I could have used a black panel on the back. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm done with the card and the kit, the stamp and die kit. And then let me bring my card back in. At first I want to get these layering pieces on the belly band. Let me glue this to the back. I think I am going to trim some of this off. Let me find my scissors. Here. Let me just trim some of this down here. And glue this right here. So I have enough that it meets in the middle right here. You just need some, you don't need a whole bunch. Make sure that's adhered well. And then I can cover that with that piece of paper there. You could use a ribbon, or you could put a large embellishment there. So there we go. And then on the inside of the card, I cut a second panel. The card die included a panel for the inside so that you could cut a piece, or you could just cut a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4 to cover. If you're using a dark piece, you need something lighter to write your sentiment on the, or message on the inside. If you're using white cardstock or a light pattern, light color of cardstock, you won't need that. So we've got that there. Now let me figure out how I'm going to create my scene. Now I could if I do it this way, if I do this here, the belly band's going to have to come off the bottom. And then I could put the chair on this side flat. Let's see. I need something here to symbolize the sand. Let me work on that. I'll be right back. And it says Under the Stars. There's also one that says Happy Camper. I like the Under the Stars. I also have Camper to Stamp from Stamps of Life that has a camper in it. And I had some stamped up. I might have used that if I hadn't thought of using this already. I have quite a few stamp sets for here. So I have a Campy Birthday. Ooh, that sounds fun. I need some more birthday cards, so that might work. It's time to explore. Take a hike. If you're not a happy camper, take a break. This is how we roll. Adventure, let's wander, happy camper. I really like a Campy Birthday. I think I'm going to use that. Put this back in. So I'm going to save this for next time. I think I'll put this up here.
Guitar blend with the gentle sound of the waves crashing against the shore. A serene melody weaves through the breeze, creating a soothing rhythm that mirrors the ocean's ebb and flow.
Okay, there's my card for episode number 273. I added a embellishment there to the front of the belly band. So we have our ladies card. This is a campy birthday card for any lady. And we have a camp theme, camping under the stars. We have candy wrapper colors. I like that blue and pink. Colors reminds me of sweet tarts. And then our random element is a belt, which is our belly band belt. So I hope that you liked the card. It was really fun to put together, and I got to use that starry background scene that I had left over from last week. So I consider that a win. Let me know what you think of my card. And if you want to see how I made that that smush background, go watch last week's episode of my channel, how I made my episode 272 craft roulette submission for last week, and I show you how I made that. So I hope that you enjoyed this card, and I hope that you can come back and see me the next time I have a crafty video up. Have a great day. Bye.